sometimes, people might not like that I say this, but there'll be some misconceptions is that you're not very bright. You will have to continually learn. So they will look at what's trending for this coming year. So sometimes I think people think it's like really glamorous. So you just...
How would you advise a young person to have that confidence or to grow into that?
You do always have that little bit of self-doubt. But,
Hello and welcome to our podcast, The Conversation Room. We're so excited to have you here. You're our first one, so this is going to be wonderful.
Thank you for having me.
So firstly, for anybody who doesn't know, I know we've spoken a lot downstairs.
Yeah.
Can you just introduce yourself and tell me who you work for?
So my name's Amy. I work for a company called Salon Promotions. So we predominantly sell Neal and Wolf, and we provide the college hairdressing department with all their colour, retail products, and then we also help with a lot of the training as well. So we come in various times a year to do different training with the students, the tutors, and I'm just supported from that kind of way as well.
Wow, so it's actually a product that you're interested in and you're passionate about, and you enjoy doing it. You clearly love your job, you clearly love what you're doing.
Yeah.
But just going back a little bit, can you tell me about your first job? Well, about your first job, really.
My first actual job, I was a waitress. So I was not very good. I probably only worked there for about 3 months. But I was a waitress at Bolton Wanderers, in the boxes. So I used to do that.
Oh my goodness.
So, dealing with quite a lot of drunk people after the matches and things wasn't really my forte, and carrying on the really hot plates, so I wasn't too good at that. So, But it didn't last very long though. It wasn't really my kind of scene. But that was my first job.
Wow, it's a baptism of fire, isn't it? Once you've done that, you can do anything, can't you?
Yeah, it really was.
Absolutely. Can you tell us about your journey into the hair industry from such a different background?
So my kind of career started off doing sales in general. So I first came into the hair industry about 15 years ago. Worked for a company that sold multiple different brands. Was there for about a year, and then I moved to a well-known electrical company called GHD. So I was there for around 8 years. And then they did various changes in the business, and then about 4.5 years ago I came over to Salon Promotions.
Okay, so I remember you saying that you knew somebody in the industry who was doing the same thing. Is that what kind of interested you in it? Intrigued you?
They would kind of had done a similar job to me before, and they'd moved into the hair industry as an account manager, and I just thought that sounds like a really fun, exciting job, and how nice would it be to sell something that you're actually passionate about and you've got an interest in, and so that's kind of, I was lucky, I suppose, in a way that there was these opportunities that came up, and I was able to take them, so
Yeah, fabulous. What's been your proudest moment in your career so far? What have you loved doing?
I think there's been quite a few things. I know we were just talking before about kind of what I've been doing this week, so I've had a really unusual week at work. So on Monday, I was actually a hair model. We did a big hair event in Manchester called Placement with Purpose, and they needed a blonde model, so I stepped in last minute. So that was quite a fun day at work. So I got my hair done by the lovely Chloe, who's actually the educator for this college. So that was really good. I don't really know what my proudest moment is. I suppose working with colleges and things, it's quite different to my normal day-to-day jobs. We do work with colleges, but predominantly my day-to-day job would be going into salons. So getting a college is really great for the area because there's so many students who come in, and it's a real flagship for the area, so that's good.
So you like going into salons, but your real joy is kind of working in colleges, and you see that as a community benefit.
It's just more that I would see that as a great opportunity for the area, because there's so many students who go through the college to do the training, and it's such a vocal part of the community where all the salons are. So it would be more from that point of view that I use it as a reference point to my salons in the local area, we work with, and then everybody knows who the college is as well. So so
it's kind of more of a business to business as well as spreading the word.
Yeah,
fabulous. What do people outside the industry not realise about what it actually takes to do your job? What's some common misconceptions, do you think?
I think sometimes, people might not like that I say this, but there'll be some misconceptions is that you're not very bright if you like do hairdressing, or it's not like you don't need to be extra skilled, where literally it could not be further from the truth. Especially like working with colour and things, it's very science based. You have to continually learn, you have to always keep up with the latest trends, how one colour will look on your hair, for example, compared to mine. There's a scientific reason behind that, why it'll be different, like using the colour wheel. So yeah, I think people think it would be an easy job to do, and it really, really isn't. Like if you try and do it, like cutting's like very, very technical, you've got to be super precise. But I think you just have to keep up to date with all the latest trends. Like you constantly have to keep up to date on socials with what is going to be the next hair trend. Educate yourself in that, because that is what your clients are going to be wanting and asking for.
Yeah, absolutely. And in your role in sales, do people have misconceptions about what you do and about your job?
Yeah, sometimes I think people think it's like really glamorous, and you're just going in having coffees and things, but it's really not that. There's a lot of hard work and kind of prep work that goes on behind the scenes, analysing like figures and things from previous year, and then talking to the salon owners, like, you did amazing on this brand, why do you think that was? Did you do extra promotions on it? So you really kind of analyse it from a business point of view and get them and you look at it as a business. So yeah, I think that's a common misconception that, we just go in and have a chat and have a coffee, but no, it's not. There's a lot more to it than that.
Yeah, absolutely. So would you say it's important to develop relationships with your customers then?
I'd say that's kind of the key part of my role, is having that relationship with the salon owner. Gaining their trust. You are a partnership at the end. Like, you have to work together to make it work. Like, we are definitely there to 100% support their business and do whatever we can to get them to grow, which will help us grow. So kind of that's how it works.
I know we touched on this as well before. What trends do you see in the industry, in the hair and beauty industry?
So people, I think from like a blonde point of view, people are kind of moving away from like the icy, really cool kind of tones into more warmer, neutral kind of blonde tones. And I think a lot of that is to do with people want more lived in hair. So they want hair that looks a little bit more natural. It's not as hard to maintain. As like the icy, like most people's hair does lift warm. So if they can kind of embrace that a little bit more. And then probably the biggest trend at the minute is the grey blending. So a lot of clients are wanting to embrace their natural greys now, but it's how you blend that in a seamless way. So we've put on a couple of courses. We do like courses at our head office, and then we'll also run like cluster courses throughout the regions. But the grey blending course, maybe before we'd officially announced it, that sold out. So we just kept putting extra dates on, just kept selling out, and that kind of proves the trend for this year. Everybody's into grey blending. All the stylists are like eager, and they really want to kind of perfect that within their salon, and hence why they've all wanted to get on the grey blending courses.
Wow, that's fascinating, because I hadn't even thought of that. Do you think that's led by celebrities embracing their natural greys a bit more?
A little bit, but I think a lot of people, people are so busy now. They might not want to be at the salon every 4 weeks to get their grey roots touched up.
True.
And it's like, how do they, still look amazing? How do they still have great hair, but in a way that they can go maybe every 8 weeks, so it just looks a bit more natural and a little bit more blended. So it's not that they're stopping going and having the hair done. It's about how it looks kind of in between the visits, I would say. They don't want that harsh regrowth, so it's how they can soften that line.
That's a really interesting trend. Do you find you get most of your information then from the salon saying this is what customers are looking for? Is it more kind of culture and environment led, do you think?
It would be, from the salons, but then again, like what's trending on socials. I think our education team, they kind of do like trend forecasts. So they will look at what's trending for this coming year. So from like a copper point of view, it's still very much like your cherry colour kind of hair. There is a trend at the minute called hot honey, which is like kind of like Olivia Atwood's like blonde, but with like a copper twist to it. But yeah, like some celebrities are like whatever Molly May does with her hair, everyone's like, I want that hair colour, I want that hair colour. You know, I think that plays like a part in it as well. But yeah, social, celebrities, and just like kind of what the clients are asking for. Real life day to day though, like if you're having, you know, that's where I think the grey blending things come from. It needs to fit into people's lives.
Yes.
So, you know, if you can't go every 4 weeks because you're busy, like everyone's super busy now, aren't they? And people have like different commitments. If you can't commit to be at the salon every 2 weeks or 2 hours, what can you do instead? How can you make it work for you so it looks better between your appointments?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. What's your go-to product that you genuinely couldn't work without?
I would say Miracle Mist. So Miracle Mist is our rapid blow drying spray, but it has like multiple different benefits. So the biggest thing why I like it is it quickens your blow drying time by up to 50%.
We all want that.
And
definitely.
who doesn't want like more time in the day?
Yeah.
I've got like 2 little children. I'm a working mum. Like, and I'm always like, oh my God, it's hair wash day again. I've got to dry it and straighten it. And so yeah, having a product that can give me a little bit of that time back is amazing. It contains heat protection, it reduces the frizz, it adds shine to the hair, it's got a purple hue in, so it'll help to cool down any of those warmer yellow tones that are coming through. So yeah, it's amazing, it's my favourite product.
Ticks every box.
Yeah, it does.
What skills or qualities do you think are most important for somebody who wants to succeed kind of in your industry?
I would definitely say time management is key.
Yeah.
So how you're able to organise your day, organise your diary, and that's from like an account manager point of view, and also from like a salon owner as well. Because where they're going to fit into their diary, like managing the stock levels, updating on socials. So I think being good at time management is certainly like imperative to this industry. Everything's like super fast paced as well. And then I would say maybe being like liking people, being a people person, relationship building. Because as much as we do that with our salons, they also do it with their clients, and that's why their clients go back to them and have their hair done. One of the reasons, obviously, you know, it's the skill set as well that they possess. But they love going in for a chat, do you know what I mean? Like that kind of, of course it is. That client experience. So I think being like a people person is key as well. Yeah,
and feeling noticed and feeling seen and remembered by your stylist. You're not just a number, you're somebody.
No, and it's all the little, like, they remembered you said you were going away, or you were going on this night out, or they remember there was something going on with like one of your children or something, and it's when you go back then them asking you about that, and we do that as well.
So you do that with your salons as well?
Yeah, of course,
you know,
and it isn't something that it's forced, it's like a natural thing, and I think that's what's the best thing about it. You have built those relationships with those clients. So you are genuinely interested, like, oh, how did you get on with that? Or,
Fabulous. Yeah, it's hard to fake as well, isn't it? That kind of thing. It is genuine or not, isn't it? Yeah. So, I mean, this next question leads into this. So, in your industry, how much of your success is hard work and how much is natural talent? Would you say?
For me personally, I wouldn't say I have much natural talent, so I think it would be all of it. I do think a lot of it's hard work, if I'm being honest. There could be someone who's like amazing, but you have to keep up to date with the trends. So again, there's work that goes into that. You have to attend the training courses. You have to do education within your salon. You have to be, you know, on your socials looking what's forecasting for the next 6 months in the trend. So I do think a lot of it's hard work.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, hard work and perseverance, resilience. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, my next question was going to be how important are confidence and communication, which I know we've covered quite well, actually. Would you say when you first started you were as confident as you were now, or has that built up over time?
I think it's built up over time. I think like age also helps with that as well. You know, when you are a little bit younger, sometimes I don't think you always feel as confident in a room with people who have a lot more experience than you. I still don't always think like that. I have a lot less experience than like, you know, my fellow colleagues and things, but I think the key with that is as well, like, fake it till you make it. Like, you can always pretend that you're confident or try to, and then one day you'll get there, I suppose. Absolutely.
No, good advice. Good advice. And in your experience, what would you say some of the challenges people face coming into the industry in general, and how would you say they could overcome them?
Yeah, so I'd probably say the biggest challenges that people face is doing all like the background thing to their job. So, you know, managing a team, that can be quite challenging sometimes. Even little things like understanding, you know, you've got to pay your VAT bills, like your rates, your business rates. That's something that doesn't really get taught, I don't feel. You know, everyone always like kind of makes jokes like, and don't use, like I definitely don't use in my job like some of the things that I got taught at school, like how to play the recorder, or not that I ever did that, but do you know what I mean? Like, you know, the theory of pi, and that's never been used. So like other things like adding VAT onto a bill, like why is that done? How do you do that?
Yes.
You know, working out a percentage of a cost, you know, if you're going to give a 10% discount, what would that be? How would you quickly work that out? I don't think things like that are taught. It's something that you kind of learn as you go in, and mistakes are made. It's not really supported in that way, so I think a bit more help from like the powers that be, like the government, would be nice.
And lots of hairdressers will be going in to be self-employed and startups. So,
of course.
Those will be.
And you are going in
skills.
blind, that you've learnt your skill and you've mastered your kind of your skill set, but then you've got all these other things that you actually have to do to be successful. And no one really teaches you that. We do actually have at Salon Promotions, because we've noticed that as like a gap, I suppose. So how else can we support salon owners especially? And we've got a business course that's run by Neal, who's the founder of Neal and Wolf, called Art of Salon Business, and it kind of goes through those aspects of being a salon owner.
That sounds fascinating.
And how we can like support that. It's an amazing course, and a lot of people who go on it then, because they kind of change their mindset, change how they run their business, then they actually are making more revenue, they've been more profitable. We've done like case studies on it, and it really does help them to understand that side of it a lot more. So
absolutely. And there's things like how to pay your staff, how to build in sick days and holidays,
even how to price a service within the salon. You like the breakdown of what that costs. You know, are they having 2 coffees when they come in? Like all those things need to be accounted for. You know, are they having 2 toners on it? You know, are you mixing 2 different colours together? Is the blow dry taking you half an hour or an hour because you've got super long, thick hair? It's all the other little things like that. How do you break that down into, you know, creating the price? Absolutely. And to get a move away from mates rates, I suppose, as well. Yeah, of course, which I think like a lot of stylists are quite guilty of, you know, like they're not charging their worth.
Absolutely. So talking about people starting out in the industry, this leads us into some of the questions from our students. Our students have sent in their questions, and we have a special box for that. So if you'd like to open the box,
thank you.
Take out a question at random.
I'll take this one. It's a long one. If somebody wanted to become a celebrity hairstylist, where would be the best place to start? And that is from Lucy, who's a hairdressing student. I would probably say, if you want to become a celebrity stylist, to kind of get your name out there, so go and ask to assist on photo shoots. We do have something called the Rising Star Award at Neal and Wolf. So this is for young up-and-coming stylists. They can enter. It's a competition that we run every year. And that'll kind of get their name out there. But I would say just kind of go and ask, can you like, work for free? Like go and assist on the photo shoots and things. Make sure you're keeping up to date with like trends. If you know, it's quite a well-connected industry, I think, the celebrity hair industry. So if you know anybody or know someone who's had the hair done by them, just reach out to them on like socials and say, would you mind if like, do your hair for free or come and assist at a new photo shoot or something like that? Then but certainly like, you know, we definitely have the Rising Star Award, so that's a great way for like young up and coming stylists to get their name out there. And they can kind of use that on everything, put it on their socials. They're the Rising Star for 2026 for Neal and Wolf. So yeah, I'd say that.
Yeah, that's great advice. I love that. I really like that advice. Do you want to take one more? Yeah.
So this one says, do you enjoy working for Neal and Wolf? And that's by Adana, who's a business student. Yeah, I do like working for Neal and Wolf.
It really comes through actually when you're speaking.
Yeah.
You're very passionate about it.
It's such like an amazing kind of company to work for because it's really grown in the past few years, and kind of to see where it's come from. And we have like monthly sales meetings, you know, you definitely feel lucky when you're there. You get to be a part of something special. There's like been a lot of kind of waves that we're making within the industry, and you can really feel like the name of the brand's like really gotten out there.
Yeah.
It's such a massive difference from when I started 4.5 years ago to now, kind of where it's come from. I'm like super flexible. We always ask for feedback off our salons. So when we are launching a new product, we will actually send like polls and things on our social media and get our salons to answer what they do want to see from us, which I think is really kind of amazing, because most of the companies will be like, oh, we want to bring out this, so we'll bring that out, but we're actually doing what our salons want us to do, and what people are asking for. So we're really listening to kind of the feedback that we're getting, and I think that's really important, and that kind of gives us integrity as a brand. Like, so yeah, I really do enjoy it. It's really fun. Like, I get to do some really like cool things as well. Like on Monday when I was at the hair course, and then we do like different events every year. So yeah, it's just a really cool place to work.
Oh wow! So I mean, my next question would be then, if somebody maybe was a hairdressing student or in a completely different area in the college, how would they get into your industry? What would be your advice to them?
So particularly to my job role?
Yeah, in your job
I would say either having like a background in sales or a background in hairdressing.
Yes.
Kind of, I would say half the account managers have been from a sales, and then the other half are probably from hairdressing. Used to be salon owners, and they just kind of wanted a change in career. So I'd say you need to have like the knowledge of that, really.
Yeah.
I would say, well, it would definitely help if they did have the knowledge.
Yes.
To get into like a job role like mine. But being like passionate, being willing to learn, like, you know, you should learn every single day. Like, no one's perfect. Like, people, you know, you can always learn something from somebody when you talk to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, pick something up. So always wanting to like develop yourself, and like the industry changes quite rapidly.
Yes.
So I think to kind of keep on top of that, what did used to work 10 years ago doesn't necessarily work now.
Yeah.
Like the fundamentals don't always change, but day to day there's like things you can do better and improve on. So willingness to learn is like probably the most important thing though, to kind of get into that. And if you're passionate and, you know.
Yeah. Absolutely. So how does Neal and Wolf support professional development and progression within the company?
So we have monthly sales meetings where we do quite a lot of training on, like especially like new products that are launching. We will have like various Teams calls if they're launching a new product. Then we'll have like actual training sessions on those. We also, a lot of the time, I'll come and onto Chloe's training sessions that she'll be doing in my salons. So I just like pick up little things like hints and tips. When I was in the salon, I learnt loads on Monday when we was at the hair course. So there's loads of different ways that we do training. Also as well, like speaking to other account managers, asking, you know, how did you get on selling such a thing? Like, how did you do that? How did you win that business at the spa or whatever it was? I think just sharing ideas and being supportive as a team.
Yeah. So do you feel that's important, then everybody helping each other within the team?
Because you are one team. Like, if you don't all work together, then it's not really going to work as well or be as successful, is it? So,
Yeah. Oh, fabulous. From an employer's perspective, you know, from your perspective, what makes a candidate's CV stand out? What would make it shine?
I think if you can try and get your personality on the CV a little bit, put in kind of what skill set, you know, at the top of it, I would say. What skills, what kind of, say if you have worked somewhere else that isn't exactly in the industry, what transferable skills have you got that you can put on your CV that'll stand out and that'll be relevant to that job role? Or to working at the salon. I do think coming across by being eager and willing to learn, willing to do the training, everybody starts somewhere. So not everybody is going to have, especially like when you are younger, you're not going to have that experience.
Yes.
But it doesn't mean that you're not going to be amazing with the right support. So I think like, you know, write in your willingness to learn and you're excited, and I think that kind of passion, just try and get that across in it.
Yeah. So it's a personality wanting to learn.
Yeah.
Being eager and wanting
Yeah,
to
I think
be in
that.
it.
Yeah.
Would you say knowing something about the company before you send the CV in and tailoring it would be a good thing?
Yeah, I think that would be really helpful, especially when it comes to like interview stage. I think, you know, maybe having tried a couple of the products or something, or go to a salon that uses Neal & Wolf products, ask them about the brand. They'll have like a different kind of spin on it. Go on like the LinkedIn pages, the social media pages, look at things like that and maybe put that across.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we've spoken this before about social media changing the hair and beauty industry. Things move so fast nowadays and trends come out. Would you say it's created more opportunities for young people, and how has it created those opportunities?
I definitely think social media is an amazing tool to use within loads and loads of businesses, but especially for the hair industry, it's quite a lot of people who work in this industry are very visual, which is amazing because that's what social media is. It's images, it's like videos, and it is quite quick sometimes. The things that you see on social media, like a lot of people are like into like doom scrolling, you would call it, and like. But if you're amazing at taking those pictures and your work looks really great, then that's what people are going to look at. There has been like loads and loads of stylists who have gone viral on socials, from kind of the looks that they have created, and that has kind of set in place a new trend. So yeah, I think it's really, really important.
Yeah.
I think every stylist should have their own social media page that they update regularly.
Yeah.
It doesn't, and I don't think you should overthink it as well. It doesn't have to look perfect. I think it's just a way of engaging with your clients, but also potential clients.
Yes.
So, you know, even making things fun, like sharing memes about hairdressing, like I always think that's really fun, like salon promotions do that. And you sometimes get the good reaction from it as well, but also trying to be a little bit personable on your pages. You know, your social media is it's you. So it's a way to advertise yourself as a stylist.
Yes.
So yeah, it's just super important, like it's going nowhere, so I think the best thing to do is embrace it.
Yeah. Do you think it's important to have some formal training to do with putting stuff out on social media, or do you think people should develop their own styles and do it kind of that way?
I would probably say a mixture of both. You know, we have had formal social media training, but what I like to see is the salons being more personable. But I think it's like anything, the more you do it, the better you get at it, and the more you get used to it. So I probably post on my stories every single day on my Neal & Wolf social media account.
Yes.
So yeah, but it's just habit a lot of the time. So the more that a stylist will post, then the more that they'll just see that as their day-to-day job, and they'll just fit it in within their working hours, like sharing a post. And just, I think things don't have to be perfect. Like a lot of the time, you know, if you do make a mistake, like I saw one recently, I know it was mentioned on Monday, a salon owner had, it hadn't worked what they'd done on this client's head. And they were really open about it, and they were like, this didn't work, this is what I wanted to achieve, but it hasn't worked for whatever reason, so here's how I will correct it.
Okay.
So, you know, kind of showing the not perfect glamorous side of it as well. Like that happens sometimes. It doesn't kind of, the colour doesn't, it hasn't gone the way you wanted it to go. So this is what I would do. I'm going to recorrect it.
Yeah.
And this is like kind of how I do it. Just being honest on it and being like, you know, it's good to be honest, and like that's why people will like you, if you're being honest and not being like everything's too perfect and polished, because that's not real life, really.
Yeah, we didn't do anything wrong, everything's fine.
So it's not, and I think that you'll get a lot more like integrity from being like that and being yourself on it.
You mentioned about how you've had social media training yourself within Neal & Wolf. What did that involve? What did you do?
So it's more from like an education point of view, so like how I would help my salons with their social medias, like how would they take like the amazing shot of like the side of the head. So Chloe, who is the educator for the college, and she's my educator for my whole area, she's unbelievable, and she does like loads and loads of work on pictures. So it's kind of like showing you how to take a good picture, what angle to stand at, which lighting to use. But then she does always say, like, don't overthink it, like, just post it. Like,
Just do it, yeah.
I genuinely believe, like, you're better posting something than nothing.
Yeah, so keep creating the content.
Just keep, you know, and then if anything, like in 5 years' time, you'll be like, oh my God, why did I post that when it comes up on your memories? But it's, do you know what I mean? You can see your growth then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, marvellous. What advice would you give to yourself as a 16-year-old starting out? What would you go back and say, this is good advice, or look out for this?
I'd probably say, you know, you don't necessarily have to, I did go to uni, but you don't necessarily have to go to university.
Yeah.
Like I did go to college, got my A-levels, did go to uni, but I just really didn't like it. And I did not want to stay. So yeah, it's okay to like not do what everyone else is doing at the time.
Yeah, follow your own path.
Yeah, so, you know, and I didn't overly know what I wanted to do as well. You don't kind of have to make that decision when you are 18.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like, you know, what's meant for you is not going to pass you by, and like I'm quite a believer in that.
Yeah,
and,
totally.
Yeah, so I just think, you know, just give it a go as well. Like, you know, just what's the worst that can happen?
Yeah, absolutely. Did you work through uni? Did you have a part-time job?
Yes, I actually worked at a designer clothes shop. Okay. So although the industries are not like super connected, it is still like trend based and things.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
yeah, I worked there for a few years, so that was quite fun. Got a big discount, so yeah, I like that.
And would you say those skills have definitely helped you in your career, having that part-time job?
Yeah, I think, you know, you was kind of working with lots of people of different ages.
Yeah.
People who and then like obviously customers were coming in, so you're having to build a relationship with those customers.
Yeah.
Because it was a designer shop as well, you would have a lot of like repeat customers. So if you really helped them one time, they'd remember you, and then they'd come back and they'd get you to help them again. We did work off commission as well, so that was always helpful.
Definitely.
So yeah, I needed my money for my little nights out and things like that. So when I was 18, so yeah. Yeah, loads of transferable skills. I think just being like a people person, chatting to people, and yeah.
Absolutely. And you mentioned like trying everything. So I always say to people, if you do something, something always comes from it.
Yeah.
And you're still further along your path.
Yeah.
Would you say that's definitely been the case for you?
Yeah, definitely. Even if it isn't the right fit, you'll still learn something from it, so you'll still grow. Like, it's never a waste of time trying something new, and it might be the best thing you've ever done, so why would you not?
Yeah,
try
of course.
it.
Yeah, definitely. What's the best piece of advice somebody's given to you, do you think?
I think just like kind of learn from your mistakes. Like, people make mistakes all the time, and I think, you know, like kind of own up to them when you make them. Like, sometimes we'll forget to do stuff at work. I'm like, oh my God, I've not done that. But I will be like, I'm so sorry, I've not done it. And then, you know, if you're like quite honest and open, I think that people like, oh, don't worry about it. Like, people forget stuff all the time, don't they? Or they'll mess up a little bit. Or if you do something wrong, then, you know, most people are quite nice to you. So yeah. Yeah. Just be honest and open, yeah. And if it doesn't kind of work out, then
then you've still tried it. And
of course you have. Try not to like overthink things, and yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, what would you say if you were kind of giving advice to somebody else starting out right now? Kind of, would you say do an apprenticeship or go to college, or just do their own thing, follow their own path?
I would say you do kind of, it's good to have that like structured learning. So I do think going to college is really important to have that. But then there's nothing better than being in a live salon environment. So working on the salon floor as well. Yeah. But you kind of need the theory and all the understanding behind what you're going to be doing as well. So that's why college is really important. Yes. And also you do need like to get your level 2s and your level 3s and things like that. So I would say a mixture of the two. Yeah. You know, it depends kind of what learning environments, but I don't think there's a one size fit all. You know, if somebody really doesn't like sitting in the classroom environment, but I don't feel like it's overly like that here anyway when I've been, you know. Yeah, they try and make it like fun and like change things up, so yeah. Yeah, no, I absolutely agree. There is no one size fits all. Some people are ready at 16 to go into work, some people need to be until they're 18, 19 and try different things, so yeah. Yeah, well, I would say don't try and grow up like too early, because when you're older you're like, oh my God, that was the best time ever, but now I've got all these other responsibilities. Yeah. Just
Just think about a young person starting in the industry. So obviously you went into work after uni, like full-time work after uni. Did you find it hard to manage your money at that time? And how would you handle your first paycheck? What would you say to a young person to do this with it?
I mean, I think your first one, you should probably, this is probably not sound advice, but like you've worked really hard for it. So I would say definitely treat yourself with your first one. But I'm quite lucky because I suppose like I bought my first house at 23. So I did really start saving and things like that. So it's quite young now to kind of get a house at 23.
Yeah.
And I was with my my husband. We weren't married at the time, but then we did get married after. But I do think, like for me, getting on the property ladders, like, was quite important.
Yeah. It's an amazing achievement, by the way, 23.
Yeah, it was quite young, but I'm like, oh my God, if my children want to move out at that time, that's pretty young. But yeah, I would say, you know, you should like have a mixture of everything. It's just a balance, isn't it? Like definitely like you've worked really hard, so you do deserve to treat yourself. But then also, you know, put your sensible head on and then like try and save because, you know, eventually you will, you know, most people do want to own a property at some point.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Absolutely.
Bit of a mix.
So no, you started off in sales in a completely different area with utility services, wasn't it, essentially?
Yeah.
And then you moved over into sales for the hairdressing industry. And you mentioned about working for GHD as well. So if you can just talk us through kind of how you went from there into your industry. Yeah,
so I just was really lucky and just happened to kind of, I think it was a recruiter and they was like, there's a job opening at GHD, do you want to be put forward for it? So I was like, absolutely, because everybody kind of, you know, I remember even getting my first pair of GHDs, and it really did revolutionise the industry.
Yeah.
You know, like everyone remembers the first pair of straighteners and, you know, there was no more ironing of the hair and things like that. Probably your students won't remember having to do that because they've always grown up with straighteners. But and then got the job there and I was there for 8 years. So I did the same, like a similar role there as what I do here. So account management. So I looked after like a northwest area, so like day to day going into salons, supporting them with the retail, showing them like the new products, demonstrating how to use the different electricals that we sold, you know, getting to go on like hair shows. We would do like big product launches, so when they were launching something new, we'd get to go down to London, and you know, it was really exciting, and I really did enjoy it. And I think that did help me when I left GHD because it's such like an iconic brand name and it's such a well-known name in the industry. Yeah. And they do a lot of great training and they're well known for that. Then when you are moving on, then when I came here, I definitely think it helped that I had that experience within GHD for such a long time. Yeah.
So that really stood out on your CV then, that experience there.
Yeah. And sometimes like, you know, taking a job at, you know, like a big brand because of the training and the other things that comes with, that isn't going to hinder you, that'll help you.
Yes.
And so essentially like my roles are very similar, what I did there and to what I do here. Here I do sell colour, which I haven't ever sold before. So that's been a massive learning curve. But it was a great brand to work for. Very exciting and, you know, really cool.
Yeah. So when you went to a new product launch, was there like a time when you couldn't tell people about it?
Yeah.
You were like this.
I mean, there is now here as well. Like when I got asked about the new products and things, and it's like, oh, some of them are under embargo, so we have to like sign forms and things like that. But and it's really hard because when you're going into your salons, you are excited because you're like, oh my God, I've seen this, and they would absolutely love that. But you're not really supposed to like mention them, which is really difficult to do sometimes. But it was exciting. Like when we got to, sometimes you would get to test the products out before anybody had seen them, and they would give them all like code names and things. So it was quite cool. I'm probably not allowed to say this, but they would be like code names of like Disney films and things like that. Or like so you would never know what it is. You know, if it got like leaked or whatever, you wouldn't know what. No one else would know apart from the people who work there. So it's cool.
So the new Elsa could be anything.
Yeah. So
Gosh.
Yeah, it's good.
You've just mentioned about confidence in your role and walking into a room and feeling you can speak to anybody.
Yeah.
And it's it's something that people often think about, isn't it? You know,
Yeah.
their confidence. How would you advise a young person to have that confidence or to grow into that?
I think a lot of it is like belief in yourself. Like certainly from my point of view, even if I'm doing like a retail session or something in a salon, I know that I know the products and I know that I know what I'm talking about, but you do always have that little bit of self-doubt. But, you know, I do know that I know what it is, and if they ask me a question, I've got more knowledge. So I think knowledge is power in a lot of the things, and some of that does come with age. Like the older you are, you know, you will know more things because you've kind of just experienced those more. But also, if you don't know the answer to a question, I think it shows a lot about you if you say, I don't know the answer to that, but I will find out for you, so let me go away and ask.
Yes.
And just, I think that would give the client confidence that you're not just kind of making something up on the spot.
Yeah.
That you've got the confidence to say, actually, I do not know how to answer this properly, so I'm going to go back away, find out, and then I'll come back to you with the correct answer. You don't have to know everything all the time.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we have like managers and support and, you know, people who've been doing the job longer than you. Go to them, reach out. You should use like all the tools in your arsenal.
Yeah.
And they are, so yeah.
Yeah. And starting off as an account manager, say a young person, 18, 19, starting off in their role, are there any hints or tips you'd say to them if they were walking into a salon for the first time or walking into a meeting room? How would you kind of empower them?
I'd say just be like personable. Like you're in a personable industry. People buy off people at the end of the day. Yeah, if you are fake, people can see through that. You know, if somebody kind of, oh sorry, I don't know how to answer this.
So I know some people say, you know, smile, or you've said before about fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
So a tip about walking into a room, would you say just be yourself, be natural, or say to yourself, I know this person's going to like me because my mum likes me, or whatever.
I would honestly just like try and be yourself. Like most people are nice. I would say that. Like, you know, there's been very few instances where something bad has happened because you've done that, and it could be the best thing you've ever done that day. Yeah. So just do it. If it doesn't come out how you thought it would or how you hoped, then it's fine, the next one will. So like, don't overthink it. Yeah. But yeah, I definitely think like with confidence, definitely try and fake it till you make it. Yeah. And like, then you will feel more confident. You know, smile, be happy, like.
Just think of something nice as you walk into the room, maybe, something that makes you happy.
Or just don't overthink it either, just walk in.
Yeah.
That's what I do. Just try not to overthink it. Like genuinely, most people are not horrible to your face.
Yeah.
So they'll be fine.
I used to say to people if they're going into an interview, just think about something that makes you happy. Think about your next holiday. Think about you know, a piece of clothing that you really want that you're going to buy after this, and that just makes your face light up a little bit, doesn't it?
I think like happy thoughts. So just think like generally trying to have like a positive mindset. You know, sometimes if you are having a bad day and like you don't want that to reflect on you, like how you are. Or if it's like a big grey miserable outside and you're like, oh, I was stuck in traffic and whatever, then that's gonna, like, people will pick up on that if you're being like negative.
Yeah, that's really true.
I'm really not a believer of that. So I think, you know, might be raining, but you know, at least we're not in a drought. So like try and look at the positives. You know, you might have been stuck in traffic, but then you got to listen to a podcast for an extra 20 minutes or whatever it is. There's always something good to take from everything bad. Yeah. So just try and like switch your mind there. And I think like with the confidence thing, just smile, and you know, it's not that deep. If they don't like you, then that's their problem, not yours.
Yeah. Really good advice. That's the end of our questions so far. So
thank you.
All I can say is thank you so much. This has been absolutely wonderful.
Thank you.
You've given us so much sound advice and so much of an insight into the industry.
It's been a different experience.
Again, a different experience.
Something different.
We couldn't do your hair today, but you know, like we did on Monday.
No, it's been good. I enjoyed it. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. You are first, and definitely you absolutely shone in that. You were wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you.